Vicky Wilkins, Dean of School of Public Affairs at American University, and today I'm very thankful to be speaking with Deon Jones. Deon is a 2014 graduate of the School of Public Affairs, and now he is a digital creative and a key member of the conceptual artist Kaino studio in LA. Deon, I'm so glad to see you today, up and well. We had this conversation planned to talk about your career path and your time at AU, but then the events of the weekend has kind of shifted our focus. Can you tell us about what happened this weekend?
First, I just want to say how honored I am to be a graduate of American University, and particularly the School of Public Affairs. I've just been very proud of the steps you guys have taken to move us to not only a more equal institution, but to train the folks who come through the doors of the institution to be more equal, less biased people. As you know, I have been participating in the protest here in LA. On Friday at 5 o'clock, we began to march again through the downtown streets of LA. We took over the interstate. We actually went on the interstate and took it over. Once we finished there, when we got to one of our intersections in downtown LA, we were met with police with rubber bullet guns. We were met with police with their batons. On Friday night, the police came to barricade us in with their human shields of riot gear police. So we were barricaded in. We were being asked to disperse, but there was no safe way for us to disperse because on all four sides we were surrounded by police. At 9:30, the city of LA issued an order that anybody downtown who was gathered together in any form is breaking the law and will be arrested. So they held us to 9:30. Nobody knew that order had been in place. We didn't find that out until the day after. But at 9:45, we were then told that we are now not free to go. We were all under arrest, so please sit down so you can be arrested peacefully. So we asked, why are we being arrested? We haven't broken any laws. We've been peaceful, etc. At 11:45, all of us were arrested. We were put into those white handcuff things really tightly. Once the sheriff buses arrived, we were put into the cages within the sheriff buses and stayed there for a few hours before we were able to go and get into the holding room and wait for them to give us our citations and let us go. We were released, and on Saturday there was an organized protest for Black Lives Matter, LA, and then there was Bill Power as well, an organized rally. Once we got to the Fairfax district, we were met again with violent police. They began to barricade us in and give us no safe way to disperse. As people tried to disperse because they did not want to get trampled, the police began to be violent. Within that violence, someone within our crowd parked a police car, and the police car began to be set on fire. We don't know who did that. A lot of the peaceful protesters tried to clear themselves because of the smoke. There was black smoke everywhere, and it literally looked like, I've never been to hell, but I feel like if that's hell, I don't want anything worse than that. The police began to shoot within that smoke as people were running, trying to go for safety. I saw my friend Kendrick Sampson, and I said, "Kendrick, put on your mask." I don't even know if he heard what I said because he just looked at me. I said, "Pull your mask up because of the smoke." They began to pepper spray. They were beating people, etc. And then as I looked, and I was looking left, and I felt this impact hit the right side of my face. I found out that I had been shot in the face by a police officer with a rubber bullet, but imagine what it feels like if the person who hated you the most in life took a lead pipe and swiped it against your face. That's what I felt. There were 60 seconds of ringing, and I thought that there was a countdown to my death. Thankfully, there was a medical professional there. My face was, the skin was like this, so the medical professional got the gauze and put it up. That medical professional who I had just met drove me to see the Sinai emergency room. The staff there were amazing. Right in the back of my face here is where the impact was, where the skin was blown off and had to be stitched back on. And here I have two broken bones in my face right now, which is what you see as a result of this. And if I turn this way, you can see the dent that's in my face from the impact. I'm now at home safe, but there are a lot of people who are still putting their lives on the line. There are amazing, particularly Black women on the front lines organizing. There are a lot of folks of all races and creeds and colors out there fighting and getting shot with bullets, rubber bullets, and getting hit with batons. And LAPD, I think, has been some of the most brutal as we see across the country, even as with all due respect, our mayor says he respects our right to protest.
I can't imagine what you've been through, and I just want you to know just how grateful we are, one, to see you well, and to see you, and two, to be able to have a chance to talk with you. You know, I've heard you refer in the past to our nation's birth defect. And I have to ask today the hard question, right? How do we start to fix it? And what do we do? Local, state, federal policymakers need to be thinking about right now at this time of great crisis.
Yeah, we have the birth defect of slavery, right? And there are two things that I think should be advocated for across the board, particularly at the local level. Defunding the police, and we actually see that happening in Minneapolis with a lot of people, a lot of organizations and universities, and school systems canceling their contracts with a police force that is committed to being violent against citizens. Secondly, we have to prosecute police who murder people. That needs to be across the board, and looking at their city budgets and holding their mayors accountable and holding their city councils accountable and holding their DA folks accountable. Because if police stop killing Black folks, there is part of this protest that will be sort of ceasing because of that.
No, and I appreciate your view on what we can do at that level. I struggled with the message to SPA because what I know is not adequate at this time is, thoughts and prayers. And so I've called for action around bringing in experts to speak on issues of police violence and brutality and on issues of systemic racism. And we're starting to plan for those forums starting early this summer. I'm funding research to be undertaken by students and faculty joined together to collaborate on research around these issues too. And of course, we need to bring and implement creative solutions with our partners here in the community. So those are, things that we've thought of, but I'd be curious, you know as well, your family test here in SPA, what you would see as things that you would want SPA to be doing right now and things where you think we could really have an impact.
I do believe at the university level, there should be mandatory bias and race training. People should know what it's like for minority groups across the country. It just shouldn't be for students either. It should be also for the adults and professors in the institution as well. Everybody can't be on the street, but everybody can make a call. Everybody has some form of influence, and figuring out where that influence is for you. But do not be silent. Do not stay silent on this issue.
Do you think there's a silver lining to this? Is there something good you can see coming from this?
This will pass the pandemic. Racism will still be here. I am hopeful in good and moral people. I'm hopeful in Black folks and Black liberation because of the vigor that I see that people are going after that. Um, the silver lining will only come through more protesting. The silver lining will only come through voting. And the silver lining will only come if police stop killing black folks and people of color, black and brown folks across the country, and also getting away with it. And so, silver lining cannot come if we don't address the systemic issues, and it's up to people who don't look like me, who are our white brothers and sisters, to really become co-conspirators in that work.
Well, I appreciate your time today, and I want you to know that my trip into this building today led me under a banner that features the picture of Julian Bond, and I know that you were such a special student to Julian, and I couldn't help but think today when I walked under it how proud he would be of you, and I hope you know that when I see him, I think of you, and it really goes to the faith I have in the work you're doing and just the appreciation I have for you as a person. So I appreciate your time today. Please be safe. But thank you for sharing with us and giving us all a roadmap forward.
I appreciate you two, Dean Wilkins, and the whole SBA family. I've missed Dr. Bond so much. I actually, a couple of nights ago, he gave me a book that's up there called The Making of Black Revolutionaries, and he wrote the foreword for it. And I reread that a couple of days ago and talked to his daughter a little bit on the phone. You know, I love my school. I love my institution, and I know that you guys are doing the tough and hard work to make this world a better place, and the folks who come out of there better people. Because I came out a better person, and there's no place that I'm more proud of than my institution and how you guys are handling this moment. So I appreciate you and everyone there.
Thank you, and thank you again for your time today, and do be well.